So it's Ileana and it's really late. I know it's past 2 a.m. in the morning, but I was watching this video on YouTube about a YouTuber that I watch. Well, the YouTuber was making a video about a controversial brand, I guess. And pretty much she was saying about how people make mistakes and you need to move on, let them move on, which I don't disagree with her, but at the same time, when it comes to controversial, offensive things that just aren't appropriate and that hurt people, talking about racism, um, I'm going to talk about racism in this video that I'm filming right now. Um, she was going on about how her experience with the owner has been great, and I kind of felt like how she was saying really ignores the hurt that has happened to people that aren't her. To me, it feels like, oh, it didn't happen to me, so I don't know what you're talking about. And you're not looking at the other side of the story and looking at the harm that that can do. And I kind of feel like, one, it's okay to stand up against something that you don't like. You don't necessarily, you can have the opinion to not like something. And I always say that you definitely shouldn't act on hate. You shouldn't be hateful. You shouldn't let hate drive your actions. But you need to stand up for something that you really do believe in. And I feel when people stop doing that, it's when things get worse. It's when things get worse, and it's when other people think that bad actions are okay to do. Again, talking about racism because the reason why I'm talking about that is because it was like I have no idea what the full situation was, but it was basically people felt like the owner was being racist and they took offense to it, and I'm sure I would take offense to it too. I don't know the whole entire situation, but that's what it was going on about. And so I put an example about, it's okay for people to stand up and be like, hey, I'm not going to buy from that company anymore. And I feel like people saying they need to move on and that it's not a big deal is completely ignoring about the wrong that did happen that needs to be addressed. And if you ignore it, it's just going to keep happening. Maybe not with that person anymore, but it's going to happen with other people. And I said, for example, something that just recently happened to me. So my fiance took us to this bar, and he said that he wanted to take me to this place, and I was really excited to go because he kept talking about it like a lot. He kept talking about it like, oh, I really need to take you to this place. I really like it. I've been there a few times. I'm just like, yeah, let's go. Finally, we get to go. And honestly, it was just a terrible experience, and I felt really bad, and I tried to enjoy myself as best as I could since I was there with my fiance. And I enjoyed my time with my fiance, but being there really sucked. And I mean, it was right when we're walking in. My fiance and I are talking, we're enjoying ourselves, we're walking in, and we can just tell that this man and this woman are staring at us. I don't know what they're staring at. I'm ignoring them because I know they're staring at me. And it's just an unnerving staring. Like, it's not like a welcoming staring. You know they're looking at you, but it's just uncomfortable. And people who have been in my situation will know exactly what I'm talking about. Sorry if you don't understand what I'm talking about. How just like how do you get a feeling when someone's staring at you? It's a certain way that they're staring at you that makes you feel really uncomfortable because the actions following that usually aren't good. And nothing terrible happened, but the person who let us know he was the owner, um, I don't know, like it was just over something stupid. It was some over something really stupid. And we were just carrying a box of wedding invitations. It was like a package. And the way he asked us was just like, what do you have in that box? Like, why do you need to know? Like, I mean, I know it's your business, but why are you so suspicious over? I mean, we didn't look creepy. We look like average people. I mean, I don't know. Do I look creepy? Like, I look like this. The way I was going in, I look like this. I was wearing a black dress. I'm pretty sure I didn't even have makeup on, so I'm pretty sure I looked exactly like this. Like, did we look suspicious to him? Why did we look suspicious to him? Why was a box that we were holding in our hands so suspicious? And again, it was the way that he asked, what do you guys have in there? Why? Again, I want to say, why is it any of your business? I understand that he is the owner of the place, but why? What reason did we give him to be so suspicious over what we were holding? And it was just unnerving. I didn't feel comfortable after that. I didn't feel comfortable with him staring at us as we were walking in. I didn't feel comfortable with the way he talked to us. And then I saw him around the restaurant. The bar was a small place, and he was just drunk. It was just inappropriate. The whole situation was inappropriate. And now, I I can't call him racist. I'm saying how I felt is the way I felt when people were being racist towards me, because it happens a lot, unfortunately. It's nothing new to me. It's been happening for many, many years of my life. People being racist towards me. And I can't say he's racist because I don't know if he was doing that based on how I looked. But the way he made me felt is the way that I felt in racist situations. And I mean, my fiance and I were talking about it. We're just like, we don't know. Maybe he fucking hates smart cars or some shit. Like, my fiance, we drive around in a smart car. It's just like maybe he's like he hates smart cars and he was judging us based on our vehicle of choice to drive. Like, I mean, people do stupid shit like that too. I mean, come on. Judging people for their race is stupid, you know? I don't know. It's just situations like that. I was so uncomfortable and I had such a bad experience from being there. I told my fiance, I was like, I don't want to come here ever again. And it sucks. So, back to the whole entire thing, you know, when people say, I don't agree with what that owner did, I never want to shop here again. That's how I felt with the bar. I didn't I had such a terrible first experience, especially with someone who said he was the owner. I don't want to go back to his bar. I don't want to spend my time and money at his place, my money going towards him, you know? And I don't think that's bad. Um, Again, I'm not going to go off the wall and go on to like review his place and be like, oh, it's terrible, it's the worst experience I've ever had, and he's a racist, and blah, 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 blah. I'm not going to do that. I did leave a review just to let people know that I didn't like going there. And sadly enough, I looked at reviews and there were other people that left not good reviews. I'm like, oh, what's with this place? it was just really upsetting that my fiance, which by the way, I'm Hispanic, my fiance is not. Um, it's just really upsetting when he said that in the past he's had a great time there, and then when I came with him, something happened. And I don't know why. I don't know why. It just really hurts. And simply, I think people if people have the right to stand up for themselves and be like, I'm not going to support that owner because of what they did. I didn't like what they did, and I'm not going to have my money and time go to that person. You know? So it's just really upsetting when people say, "Oh, you just need to move on. Forget about it." People make mistakes. Yeah, people do make mistakes, and sometimes they have to suffer the consequence of it. Maybe it means losing a ton of business. Maybe it means losing your actual business, like you're not making money anymore, so you lose your full business. People make mistakes, and sometimes they have to suffer the consequences for it. It's called thinking before you act. Or maybe it's called like saying an actual apology, like, hey, I learned from my lesson and I'm sorry and it was wrong what I did. They were saying they're just like people learn from their mistakes. I'm like, yeah, some people do learn from their mistakes. Did that person learn from the mistake? I don't know. But I feel like if you ignore the judgment and discrimination that happens in this world, if you ignore it, you're just as bad as the people who do it. I really do feel like that because you're not helping. You're not fighting against them. You might as well be letting them do it. So, I don't know. I know this was a late rant. It just really hurt to see somebody just, I feel like, simply ignore it when it's something that happens on a daily basis to a bunch of people. So I couldn't get that off my mind. But I gotta go to bed now because it's really late. And